Anyway, welcome to I Bought a Mic. It's just a little cheap, like $8 one off of Amazon, real basic. Do you have something to say? Hopefully that wasn't too loud. Okay, anyway, ma'am, I figured I would don't chew on the microphone cord. Anyway, go away. This is starting off great already. Anyway, this is gonna be a little trial run of the mic. And I figured I wouldn't do anything too crazy. I'll just make little sounds while I share probably just like 2 more work horror stories. And I'm going to entitle them The Fire and The Crash. So if you just wanna, if you care to listen, if you just wanna zone me out, that works too. Do what you want, it's your life. This microphone actually came with like a clip, so I'm just gonna I bought a tripod too, because I'm fancy now apparently. I'm just gonna clip it onto the tripod and call it a day. How's that? That good? That work? Cool. Alright. So the first story that I will share is The Fire. Now, just to remind again, this was at the gas station job. At the gas station job, I did a variety of positions. I was the cook, I was just like the sales associate, I was on the management team. I jumped around depending on where I was needed. This happened while I was still like a cook, just a cook. Now, I'll probably draw a little diagram real quick of the kitchen, but we had these 2 ovens. My cat has the zoomies. Okay, while my cat was having the zoomies, I made a little diagram to refer back to. Now, on this day, I was working with 2 people. I was working with my assistant manager, Heather, rest in peace, babe. I loved her so much. She was great. And the cashier was, we'll call him B-Man. B-Man. I was working with them too. Now, at the beginning of the day, I turned the oven on, it's working fine. And then a little bit later, it just stops working for no reason. And I'm like, huh, that's weird. Beep, 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 button, button, button. Okay. Unplug it, plug it back in, knock, knock, knock. Are you working? Okay, it's working. And then like an hour, 2 hours later, it just stops working again. So beep, 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 beep. Nothing's working. This time when I pull the plug out, it sparks at me, and I'm like, oh, holy shit. And we actually stored, this is the oven in question. This is the little fuse box in which I pulled the plug out of. We would keep a trash, like a dolly for the trash right here. There was cardboard boxes on there, and that could have caught on fire. So when it sparked, I was like, oh, holy shit. And I yanked the thing away. And they were like, what's going on? And I was like, hey, the oven, the plug for the oven just sparked at me, so I don't think we should keep that off, I think. And my manager was like, yeah, keep that off. Then we move on to the time of the actual fire. I'm just gonna, okay, here's the kitchen. Here's the oven in question. It's like a double-decker oven. There's one on top of each other. The top one was the one that didn't want to work. This is like a prep table. That's the little fuse box. This is an entryway into the fridge. This is a random pillar that they had in the middle of the room, because of course they did. Trash can. This is a shelving unit. This is another prep table. And then this way, entries. This like leads to the office area and like the behind the counter area. This is where I put the food when it's made. Excuse me, cat. Anyway, that's the layout here. So when the fire starts, I'm over here at the prep table making pizzas. You've had a gas station pizza before. I'm the bitch that made it. Hope you liked it. Anyway, so here I am making pizzas. B-Man comes from behind the counter. He's the kind of guy that like tries to fix shit even if he doesn't know what the hell he's doing. He took a hammer to the freezer one time. I don't know what he was trying to do with that, but anyway, I digress. So he starts poking at the oven, trying to figure out what's going on. And then he was like, you said it sparked at you, right? And I was like, yeah, it did. And then he bends down to like look at the fuse box. Now, you've seen an electrical outlet before, and you've seen the ones that are like outside of the wall, like a metal box outside of the wall. Some of them have slits in them, so you can like kind of see in there, but it's usually dark, right? It wasn't dark. In fact, he just like kind of shouts, "Oh shit, it's on fire." And we were like, huh? And he was like, come look, there's a fire inside of the fuse box. Fuse box, like socket. Like, I'm being dramatic, it was the socket. Sure enough, there was a little fire, and it started like evading as we like panic, and we're like, what do we do? It starts evading the top of the electrical box. You know what I'm talking about. So I'm over here like, what do we do? My manager's over here like, oh, what do we do? She ends up calling the fire department from over here. By the way, there were customers during this. You know, we're over here like, and then there's some dude over here like, hello, can I get my Maverick lights? And we're like, sorry, there's a fire. What do we, we're dealing with stuff over here, okay? So immediately we're like, water? No, it's an electrical fire. Fire extinguisher? No, because apparently you're not supposed to use those on electrical fires. I don't know. That's just what we were told by the firemen over the phone. So I assume they know what they're talking about. They essentially just went, can you pull the plug out of there without making the fire worse? And we were like, we don't know. So we start looking around, and I'm like, okay, I have metal tongs. Like, we shouldn't grab it with our hands because we could get electrocuted. I have metal tongs. Could we like take one of our food gloves and shove it on there and grab it? You know, grab, can we do that? And B-Man's like, no, here, look. And he finds like, you know those, you know how pop machines, they have a bunch of tube. If you've ever seen behind a pop machine, usually on the wall behind it, there's a hole, and it leads to like all of the pop bags in the back. We had extra tubes for those. So he finds Arbor Tube, and then he hands it to me. He's like, I gotta get these customers out of here. You yank it out of the wall. And I was like, I'm underqualified, but okay. So I go over here to my little fuse box. It's not a fuse box, it's an electrical box. I'm getting my words mixed up. Anyway, I go over there and I wrap it around there and I start pulling on it. But the problem is, like, it's a fire, and the, like, casing around the plug that you plug in is plastic. So it melted and it fused to the metal box. So I'm pulling on it, and I probably could have gotten it off if I tried hard enough. But I was scared. I was like, I don't want to, like, rain electricity on me. Like, I was pulling on it, but I was scared. I admit, I was scared. So eventually, B-Man's like, move, I got it. But instead of letting me move out of the way, let me pull my diagram out here. Where'd I put my pencil? He shoves me here into the corner up against the storage, and he is right here pulling on it, and he backs me into this corner. I'm talking, his elbow was bumping into me as he pulled. He's yanking on it, and I was like, if you catch me on fire, I'm taking you down with me. You could have let me move out of the way. Instead, you trapped me in the corner. Anyway, he ends up yanking it off, and for a second, the fire gets a little bit bigger, probably because of, like, oxygen or something. But removing it eventually let it start to die down a little bit. But before it was fully died down, the firefighters were like, is everybody out of the building? You guys get out of the building. We're coming. We're coming. So we're like, okay, grab our purses, grab our shit. We look, the fire's like 99% gone, but like it could come back. So we start hustling out. There's one guy left in the building besides us. We had a group of regulars who would be there every morning. Bunch of old dudes. One of them was named, I'm gonna call him Bob. One of them was named Bob. He was there drinking his coffee, and we're like, Bob, you gotta get out, there's a fire. And he goes, huh? And we're like, you gotta come outside with us, we had a fire. The fire department's coming, you need to get out of the store. And he's like, well, at least I can heat up my coffee. Bob, there was a fire. Get out. No worries, we get out of the building. We get Bob out of the building. He goes up to me, he's like, where's the fire happen? I was like, in the kitchen. And he's like, oh, you burnt the beans, huh? Yeah, Bob, I burnt the beans. And eventually the firemen come, and they, scope it out, and it ends up being fine. It's fine. And so later that day, maintenance guy came in, they replaced the thing, and we didn't have a fire again, so that was pretty cool. My second story actually comes from my new job. My new job, I'm just a cashier at a grocery store, it's nothing fancy. This happened like 2-3 weeks ago. I keep laughing about it. Hang on, let me draw you another diagram. You know what grocery stores look like, but I'm gonna draw you another diagram. You've been to a grocery store, you know how they work. But you got like the lane you walk in, you got the cashier behind the thing, and then next to you there's another cashier right here, and it repeats a few times. You know how it works. But you know how the cashier is in that little alcove type shit. So I'm in my little spot, you know, waiting for a customer. And then the lady of the hour emerges. She's an old lady. It's actually two customers. It's an old lady in a little riding cart, you know, the ones. And then her man had an actual, like, shopping cart behind her. Now, I don't know if she's been having those problems the whole time she's been driving that cart, or if she just lost it at the end there. But she's coming down, and then all of a sudden, she's coming down, and then all of a sudden, she can't figure out how to stop. She can't stop, and so she's going, and she's like, oh no. And instead of going forward, she starts to veer off to the side, and she enters the alcove of another cashier. We'll call him M. She's going, and then she ends up hitting him. She hits him, she pins him right here in this little corner. And I get to watch the whole thing happen, and I get to see him turn around, like, it was so funny. God damn it, my cat has the zoomies again. The old lady is like, oh my god, I'm so sorry, and is still, like, pinned up against the counter, and he's like, it's fine, just back up, like, I'm fine, I'm good. She didn't hit him that hard. She was going, those carts are pretty slow. Those carts are pretty slow. She didn't hit him that hard. It wouldn't be as funny if she, like, actually hurt him. It was just so... his face as he got pinned up against the counter. It's so funny to me. She starts trying to, like, back up, but she can't figure out how to back up. And M kind of, like, turns around, you know, to look at her. He has to, like, to turn around and look at her, and he's like, it's okay, just back up. And she's like, I can't. Her man comes over and, like, shoos her away from the cart. He shoos her away from the cart. And he tries to back up, but he can't he can't back up either. I don't know if there was something wrong with this cart or not, but they couldn't. So M ends up he has to pick it up and go, so M is officially freed. He's officially freed, and the little old lady gives him a hug, and she's like, I hope you're alright. I can't believe I just did that. Oh my god. And he's making eye contact with me because he's just over it, and he's like, it's fine. I'm good. It's alright. Just, like, waiting for the hug to be over. And then business time comes. It's finally time for her to, like, do her transaction. And that's the main part of the story. That's the good old car crash. However, she She's an odd one. I've seen her before. I recognized her. She doesn't usually ride in that cart, so maybe she's inexperienced. I recognize her a little bit. I've seen her around the store. Um, she did 2 more odd things in this transaction. You know how grocery stores have like the belt that you put your stuff on, and then there's the cashier, and then most grocery stores have another belt that'll take it to the bagger if the store has baggers, or if you're the bagger, it takes you down. It just takes it away from the cashier. They start putting the stuff out of both of their carts, the regular one and the mobile one, on the counter on the belts at the same time. And while her man is grabbing stuff out of the mobile cart and putting it on the correct belt, the one that brings it to me, she starts grabbing stuff out of the regular cart and putting it on the belt that takes it away from me. And by the way, I had a bagger, and the bagger was witnessing the entire thing with me. We were in the same boat of just holding back laughter the best we could. She starts putting her stuff on the belt, taking it away from me, so I have to keep going like beep, beep, you know, and she watches me scramble to grab it as it moves away from me. She's watching me do this, and yet she's still putting stuff on the belt. You would think she would get the hint, but she doesn't. Anyway, we handle all that. I deal with it. It's fine. Do all the stuff. You know, all the stuff is bagged. It's in the cart. We're finishing the transaction. I think she had a car trouble moment that I was helping her with, and she put her arm up on top of the thing that prints out the receipt. So when her receipt came out, I was like, oh, you might want to move your arm, the receipt's about to come out. She doesn't. She leaves it right on top of where the receipt comes out. And so I hear the receipt try to come out, but she has effectively jammed the receipt machine. And so I open it up, I pull it out, you know, I fix it, I close it, I hit reprint receipt. It doesn't work. Of course it doesn't work, because she broke it. She broke the machine. And I was like, oh, uh-oh. Well, I'm gonna have to call a manager over to fix the receipt machine, I think, because it's broken. And she got mad about it. She was like, what, so I don't get my receipt? And I was like, if you wait a few minutes, you probably can get your receipt, but it's not printing, so we have to fix it. And she was like, I don't have time to wait. I just won't get a receipt. It's whatever. And, you know, it sucks, but it's whatever. And I'm standing there like, woman, you're the one. You crashed into my coworker. You crashed into my coworker. You don't understand the purpose of the belts. And then you jammed the receipt machine. And now you're mad that I can't print the receipt. That's retail. That's retail, baby. It would... I keep thinking for weeks, like once a day, I think about her hitting him. And I laugh every time. And after she was gone, I went over to him and I was like, are you okay? And he's like, yeah, I'm fine. She didn't hit me that hard. And I was like, that's great. That made me laugh so hard, though. I'm gonna keep laughing about that. I hope you know. I love retail. I'm gonna bring this back closer to me. I was supposed to mention this towards the beginning. The inspiration for me telling the fire story is I've been watching, I found her on TikTok first. Her name is Kaelin. She posts a lot of just like retail trauma, just her stories with Karens and weird people and weird experiences she's had. And I relate because I've also had a lot of odd experiences, mostly at the good old gas station. And like a couple weeks ago to like a week ago, she posted a story about a fire at her own place of work, and it made me remember the fire. Every once in a while, something that happened at the gas station will replay in my brain, and it'll make me laugh. And it made me remember my own fire story, and I was like, I should share that. So I'm probably going to put her TikTok and her YouTube in the description so that you can witness a non-ASMR retail trauma story from her if you so wish to. That's all. I'm gonna keep it to like 2 stories. I don't know what else to say. I'm getting close to 1,000. That's kind of cool. Why are you here? I only just now bought a microphone. But thank you for being here. I don't post super often, and I don't post artwork, but I post some good old low effort ASMR whenever I feel like recording at like 1 a.m. So, I love you, and be prepared for more things with a mic. Okay, bye. Oh, I don't have the microphone plugged in anymore. I just want to show off my makeup. Okay, now bye for real.